Fantasy Consortium's Wars of the Old World.
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely, cold and dark Lund, Sweden. For this episode of Wars of the Old World, we are going to be playing 2,000 points of the Skaven versus 2,000 points of the Wood Elves in the scenario, the Watchtower. Now the idea I have for this is something like this. These two armies have been on the move, and they come now to this desert area where there is an abandoned watchtower, and the two armies now come and crash into each other to face off to see which of them will be victorious and continue on their way marching, and which of them will either be annihilated or take off and flee. So we have a pretty good board set up here with our new desert terrain and our new watchtower as well, so it'll be fun to give that a try. Well, let's go ahead now and take a look at the armies and take a look at the board. For our first army now, we have 2,000 points of the Wood Elves. The army is led now to the left by a Glade Lord, and he is armed with the Armor of Destiny. For our other Lord now to the right, we have a Spell Weaver, a level 4 with the Lore of Life, and we rolled for the spells the Dwellers Below, Throne of Vines, Shield of Thorns, and the signature spell of Earthblood. For core now, we have 2 units of Dryads over here, and they will be joined over here by 2 units of Glade Guard, 20 here and 11 here. For special here, we have 7 Deepwood Scouts, and in addition to that, we have 2 units of 3 each of our Treekin. For rare now, in the back, we have our Great Eagle, and we have a Tree Man, and they will be joined by a Forest Dragon. So there you go, once again, 2,000 points of the Wood Elves. And for our second army now, we have 2,000 points of the Skaven. The army is going to be led now by our Grey Seer, and he is a level 4. We rolled for the spells Plague, Cloud of Corruption, Pestilent Breath, and Curse of the Horned Rat, the Dreaded 13th. And he is, of course, riding on top of a Screaming Bell. Joining him now, we have a Chieftain over here who will be our BSB. Unlike the Wood Elves, we don't trust our leadership roles, so we need a BSB there. So we're going to have him come along as well. For our core now, we've got 50 Clanrats here with Shield and Spear. They have Musician Banner. Over here, we've got 50 more Clanrats with Shield and Spear, and they have Musician and Banner. And over here on the left side, we've got 67 Slaves, and they have a Musician. We should also mention that on this unit here of 50 Skaven Clanrats, we have right here the Warp Fire team. For special here, we have 6 Rat Ogres with 2 Packmasters. For our rare now, we have 2 Doom Wheels, and we have a Warp Lightning Cannon. And to finish this off now, for our unclassified, we have 30 Giant Rats here with 2 handlers. And once again, that gives us a total of 2,000 points of Skaven. Alright, and here's the setup now for our battle today on a 6-foot by 4-foot battle mat here from Urban Mats, a beautiful desert mat, and we've got our desert terrain set up here with our watchtower in the center. Here's our deployment. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we set up our 2 armies. Alright, let's start with the Wood Elf deployment. They won the watchtower, so we put 11 of our Glade Guard in there. And the rest of our guys now we have here, we have our Mage and we have our Lord here. Next to them we have 3 Treekin and 3 Dryads there. We've got our Dragon perched up here on the rock for some flanking goodness. Over here we've got our Tree Man, and we've got 3 more Treekin there, 10 more Dryads, a Great Eagle behind, and over here on the edge we have our Deepwood Scouts right behind that rock, and they will be going for this Warp Lightning Cannon right there. And when we pull over here now for the Skaven, here's the Skaven deployment. We have our Screaming Bell right here with our Grey Seer, and we've got our unit of Clanrats here. Our BSB is right in the corner, Warp Fire right there. Over here we've got this unit of Skaven Slaves, and over here we've got on this side we've got our Rat Ogres, we've got our Giant Rats, and we've got our 2 Doom Wheels here. There wasn't a whole lot of room on the other side, so we put our Doom Wheels here. Hopefully they can come flying up here and do some good damage. And finally, of course, we have our Warp Fire cannon right there. So there you go, that's the setup now for this Watchtower scenario. And before we get started, we can just do a couple things here. I can mention here that we laid down this forest as part of the Wood Elf beginning of the game, and we're going to turn that into an abyssal forest so they receive fear. In addition now, we also have the special ability to shoot 1 shot from our Lord over here on to the leader, the general of the Skaven. All right, one shot, strength 3, toughness 4 on a 5. No, nothing happened. And finally, we need to roll for our warpstone tokens here, and we will get 3 of them for the Skaven Grey Seer. And with that, we can go over here and get us ready for game turn 1. Since the Wood Elves claim the tower, game turn 1, the player turn will go to the Skaven. All right, charges to declare. We have got none. So let's run over here and do some compulsory moves with those Doom Wheels. Alright, first Doom Wheel. Let's have this Doom Wheel right here face down that tree man over there. So let's turn him and face him and roll our 3d6 random movement for an 8. Second Doom Wheel here. Let's turn this one and have him face down the Dryads here. 3d6. And look at that, a 12. Alright, that's the end of the Doom Wheels. Let's go ahead and do some remaining moves here. Alright, let's run over here to these units here and do some marching. Let's go ahead and march all these guys up there, full march. And of course, let's get this guy right up in there. And let's go ahead now to the Rat Ogres, and let's move them up their full march as well. That'll get them right next to the tower there. And there's their final position. Let's run over here now to these giant rats, and we will just have them wheel and move forward. Let's put them like right about here. They have the potential now to charge the tower and to fight some Wood Elves. And there we go. That brings us to the end of the movement phase. The Skaven line is moving up nicely. Let's go over to the magic phase. Winds of magic. Whoa! No use in channeling anything more there for the Wood Elves? No. So we will have a 12 to a 6. Fantastic start. Alright, let's start off by ringing our bell here. Because it's our first turn, we only get 1d6. So that's a 6. And a 6 is emboldened, which means that all friendly Skaven within 24 inches of the bell can re-roll failed leadership tests, including break tests, until the end of the current player turn. Alright, here we go. First spell we're going to cast is Plague, and we're going to go ahead and cast it from our Grey Seer out this direction. Let's do it right onto these guys. They are within 18 inches. 13 plus is what we need. Let's throw 5 dice at it, and we got it, no problem. And that's a 17. The Wood Elves know what are coming, so they will save their dice. So that will successfully go off. So what this means now is we need to go over to this unit and take a bunch of toughness tests. Alright, starting with the Glade Lord. 4, 5, 6 takes a wound. Yes, and that'll drop our Glade Lord down to 2 wounds. And we'll have to go ahead and roll also for our mage. And no, that's a fail as well. So Spellweaver now is also down to 2 wounds. 20 Glade Guard now on 4s, 5s, and 6s. So that is going to be a massive 9 wounds, and these only have 1 wound each, so we'll take 9 of the Glade Guard off of the back. So there we go, that's how that's going to look now when we take away 9 of those Glade Guard. And I forgot that we do have a Talisman of Preservation on our Mage here, our Spellweaver, so on a 4+ we got it, so actually they are up to full wounds. But we still need to take a panic test on a leadership of 10. So here we go. Oh no, unbelievable, and this is why you need a BSB even if you have a leadership of 10. This is crazy. So we have to roll and see how far we're going to flee, a total of 10 inches. 10 inches is going to bring us right on the edge of the battlefield. So that will bring us right here. Things are not looking good for the Wood Elves. Bad start to the game. Hopefully they can recover. Alright, let's run back over here. Now the Skaven still has a few more dice to throw at their next spell, and we are going to do the Curse of the Horned Rat. So here we go, casting it from our Grey Seer here over onto that unit of Dryads. Let's go ahead and throw 6 dice at it and see how we do. And it goes off with a 27. Let's see if they can. Yes, they got it with double 6s, so they were saved there of at least a little more suffering. And just so we don't forget, I need to actually roll for the Plague and see what happens after the Plague goes off. On a d6, we get a 2, the spell ends, so nothing happens there. That brings us to the end of the magic phase. Let's go ahead and go to shooting. Okay, our Warp Fire weapon is move or fire, so we can't fire that. That means we have our 2 Doom Wheels with their lightning bolts. But let's start out here with our cannon. And let's go ahead and take a shot over here onto the tree man. We'll put something 10 inches from the back. Alright, let's roll for our first one here, and we're going to bounce 8 inches out, which will bring us right onto that. And here's the strength and the distance of the second bounce, so 2 inches strength. And so the small template comes right here, and it will not hit anything else. So just on
and
our
moving on
man.
to 6.
All right, let's
No.
run over here and go to our 2 doom wheels, and they are closest to each other. So let's take leadership tests to make sure they don't shoot
First
each
doom
other.
wheel, leadership 7.
No, he's going to fire on this doom wheel, and this guy right here, leadership 8. No, he's going to fire as well. So both of them will exchange 3 bolts on one another.
All right, for the first one, the strength of the bolts will be.
So here we
2.
are, wounding on 6s. No. Second one, yes, and third one, no. So 4 plus armor save, no. So that will take 1 wound. Down to 4 wounds. And coming back now, the strength of the attack will be 10. Whoa. So here
First
we go.
one
On a 2. Yes, and a 2. And a 2. No, so we have 2 of them, and that's too powerful for their armor save, so they will take 2 wounds there.
And drops that one down to 3 wounds.
All right, that's the end of the shooting phase, but why don't we just take an out-of-control test for these guys? For each wound they suffer, on a 1 it goes out of control. No, and this one over here took 2 wounds. No one, so they are fine. So end of the shooting phase. We've got no combat here right now, so that brings us to the end of Skaven turn 1. A pretty successful turn for them. Let's move over to the Wood Elves turn 1. Charges to declare for the Wood Elves. We've got none at the moment, but let's go over here and try and rally this unit with our general. We need to save these guys on a leadership of 10. And they got it with 4, no problem. So let's turn them around and bring them back into combat. And there they are now back into play. Let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. First thing we want to do is do a flying march with this guy. And we will take him here and fly him over the top of that rock. And we will set him down right here into the side of that unit. And we'll take our second flyer over here. Let's run over to our Great Eagle. And we will take him and let's see. We will fly him up. Let's put him right here, blocking the doom wheel like that. Next, let's run down here and let's slide our tree men up just a little bit to about there, and we will bring our treekin right up next to him like that. Let's see if we can actually bring these guys and bring them over here and outflank the doom wheel. On second thought, we're just going to slide them up to be even there with our tree. And there's their final position there. Other movement here, we're not going to move those scouts. They're fine over there. These guys just rallied over here, so we won't be able to move them anymore, and we will leave these guys where they are. So that will end our movement phase. All right, that brings us to the magic phase. Winds of magic. And a lousy 4. Do we get a channel? No. Did they get a channel? No. So we are looking at a 4 to 3. Alright, so here's the question now. Do we try the Dwellers Below, the large version, which is a 21 plus, try to get it off on this unit, or do we just play it safe and go Throne of Vines? That's a really tough call. I think we should go big with the 21 plus Dwellers Below. Onto this unit. That means we need to show here a 17 on 4 dice. It's not very likely, but we might get a irresistible. Let's give it a try here. Double 6s. Oh, triple 6s! Unbelievable! So that spell is going to go off. We got Dwellers Below off on those guys, the large version. All right, that's amazing for the Wood Elves. Now we're gonna have to run over here and take 50 tests here, a strength test. 4, 5s, or 6s, and they are gone. Let's go ahead and roll them out in batches. All right, let's start it out with the Grey Seer on a 4, 5, or 6. He is dead. Oh, he's safe. Okay, here we go. First 15. And that's a decent roll with 8 of them being killed. Let's do the next 15. Not as good, but still 5 more. Let's do 15 more. That's 8 additional, and then we need to roll 5 more for the 5 last Clanrats of our 50. And we got rid of those 2, so 2 more. So that's going to be a total of 23 Clanrats. Let's go ahead and strip them out of that unit. Whew. All right, there you go. That is how that unit is going to look after that successful spell. All right, the Screaming Bell unit is unbreakable, so no panic test needed there. But we do need to go over here now and roll off to see what is going to be the result of the miscast. Here we go. On the miscast chart, that'll be a strength 6 hit on a 2, yes, and we have a 4 plus ward. No, so we are going to go ahead and drop that guy down to 2 wounds. And D6 dice lost from the pool, but that won't matter because we don't have any dice left. That brings us to the end of the magic phase. Let's go ahead over to the shooting phase. And let's start out here by taking 11 shots with our Glade Guard inside of this tower. Let's have them shoot down onto this doom wheel that is out in the open there. So 11 shots. All right, we're hitting on 3s. And there's quite a few actually, not too bad. Wounding on 6s because of the toughness of that doom wheel.
And we got 1. 4+ goes to a 5+. No. So they're going to take another wound, dropping them down to 3. I'll have to remember at the end of this shooting phase to go ahead and roll for the out of control for that doom. And let's go ahead right over here and run over to these guys. We're going to have our scouts take their 7 shots onto that cannon. All right, 7 shots on 3s. Nice. And wounding on 6s. Here we go. And there's 2 wounds. That'll drop our cannon down to 2 wounds. Let's go ahead now, and we have to go back to this doom wheel at the end of the shooting phase and roll for out of control. All right, I took 1 wound, so on a 1, it's out of control, and it's out of control! All right, what this means now is we have a scatter die and 3d6 movement, and it looks like there's a good chance we might hit some of our Skaven. Here we go! All right, we're going to move in that direction, and we're going to move a total of 9 inches. Alright, so what this means is let's turn this guy like this and send him ahead his inches, which means he's going to come crashing into this other doom wheel, inflicting impact hits here. Alright, d6 plus 1 impact hits, and that's going to be 6 impact hits at strength 6. Here we go, wounding on 4s. And 1, 2, 3 more wounds. So that is going to be enough actually to kill that one. That doom wheel takes out its friendly partner and sends that thing flying. Well, so that was an awesome shooting phase for the Wood Elves. We've got nothing else to shoot. That doom wheel was taken out. That brings us to the end of that phase, and we don't have any combat. So that brings us to the end of turn 1 for the Wood Elves. Let's move on to Skaven turn 2. Okay, Skaven charges to declare. Let's run over here. And let's do a charge with these guys. They're frenzied. Let's send them into that tree man. And the tree man will hold. Let's run over here. Let's see. We're going to try to reform those guys. Let's try to send these guys on a long bomb charge into... let's put them into the treekin there. And the treekin will hold. And that looks like... No, that's not the only thing. Let's go ahead and also charge here into the building so we can try to have some combat there with those giant rats. And that looks like that will be it for our charges. Let's go ahead and roll them out. Alright, starting down here, we need to roll a 4 on 2d6. No problem. Well, that was close. We got it with a 5. So let's go ahead and slide these guys up. We cannot clip them, so we're going to come right to the side here and have them stick out here to maximize like that. And that is how that one will look. Let's run over here and try these guys out here. There's no really chance we can miss, not with a 9. So let's go ahead and we will slide them in like this and close the door, making contact with the building, so now they'll be able to have combat with the Wood Elves in the tower. And finally, let's do this big one here. It's a long charge. Well, we need a 15. Ooh, no. So unable to roll a 9 there, we will just go ahead and stumble up 3 inches like so. Compulsory moves, let's run over here to our Doom Wheel. And we will go ahead and turn him like this, shoot him at those treekin. And the treekin cause fear, so this does, the terror will not cause a terror test there. Let's go ahead, 3d6, that's 8 inches. Is that enough? And the answer is no, that's not going to be enough, but we'll slide up here like that, 8 inches, really close, but not enough to... All right, remaining moves, let's run over here, and we said we wanted to try to reform these guys. We have a musician, so we can try swift reform. And let's reroll that cock die. Yeah, we got it. So swift reform, let's go ahead and bring them around. And there we go. That's how they look after their swift reform. We will leave them there now in their horde formation. Let's go up and move these guys right here. We'll send this guy up, and I think we'll move him over here somewhere. On second thought, we're just going to go ahead and march them up all the way here. They're full march. And we'll send this guy up marching as well. And we'll put him right here. And that will be the end of the movement phase now. Let's go ahead and move on to the Winds of Magic. All right, 2d6. And do we get a channel for the Skaven? No. And channel for the Wood Elves? No. So we were looking at a 7 to a 6. All right, let's go right to it. We're going to do Curse of the Horned Rat, casting from our Grey Seer here onto that unit right there of Dryads. So let's go ahead and throw 6 dice at it. We need a 25 plus. So here we go. We need to show a 21. And no, that's only a 19, so that is going to fail. We have one more die left, but we lost concentration, so they're going to waste their 6 dice there. Yeah, there we go. That's it for that magic phase. Shooting phase. Let's run over here and start with this cannon. We will have him take a, let's put a cannonball in the, say, the back of that corner. And so that'll be 10 inches from the back, right around there. All right, here we go. Overshooting, how far? 2 inches, and we're going to be bouncing with strength. Misfire, so it dissipates and nothing happens. Next, let's run over here to this Doom Wheel, and we will take 3 zap shots onto that unit right there. Or actually, let's see. No, we are closer to the bird, so 3 lightning bolts onto the Great Eagle. And these will be at strength 4. And we got 3 wounds here on the Great Eagle, so let's roll all of them at once. We're going to be wounding on 4s, so that's just a single wound. So Great Eagle dropped down to 2 wounds. All right, end of the shooting phase. Let's move over to the combat phase. We've got a couple combats here. We've got this one in the tower, and we've got one up here with the Rat Ogres. Well, let's start here with the Rat Ogres. All right, we're going to start out with 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Rat Ogres attacking the tree men, and they have the higher initiative. They are frenzied, so we will have a total of 4, 8 attacks, and we're going to be hitting on 4s. There's 3 hits, and here are the other ones. 3 more, so a total of 6 hits. Wounding on 5s, and there are 2 wounds. 5 plus saves, no, and 6 plus ward, no. 5 attacks coming back on 3s, and wounding on 3s for a total of 2. And drop that guy down to a single wound. And the tree man is stubborn. Even though he loses combat by 1, he'll stick around. So let's run over here now and go to this combat here, and let's go ahead and send some giant rats attacking into the tower. And before we go and figure out this combat, I forgot that I need to actually take a charge reaction when they come in here. So of course, the 11 guys in here are going to do a stand and shoot onto those giant Let's go ahead and resolve that now. We'd usually be hitting on a 3, but because of the charge, we'll be hitting on 4s, and decent enough to do a little bit of damage there. 5 hits. And randomizing now, 5, 6 there on the Packmaster. So there's 2 on the Packmaster and 3 on the rats. Here we go, wounding on 4s. So that would be 1 of the giant rats taken off, and we've also got wounding on 4s here. 1 of the Packmasters is gone. Okay, so the way this works now is we've got 10 from each side that can attack. In order to show this, we'll take the unit of Glade Guard that is in there, and we'll just put that down in the picture here. So we've got 10 Glade Guard attacking against 10 giant rats. Here we go, hitting on 3s. And, whoa, let's see here. We've got 4, and we have always strikes first, so we get to re-roll those. And, wow, nice. So 9 hits and wounding on 4s. Oh, excellent roll. So that will be 6 of them that we'll have to take off here, which means there's only 4 left in that party to attack back. Here we go, 4s and 4s. Not too bad. And 4s, so 2 wounds. 2 Glade Guard go off the back. All right. Alright, having won by 4, what's going to happen now is these guys are going to have to just go back an inch because they lost that battle. They will remain in the tower with their 8 here and 1 more guy, 9 guys, and they will stay here 1 inch away from the building. So end of that combat. So there you have it, the end of that combat phase. Unsuccessful attempt to claim the tower. The Wood Elves are going to remain there. So that brings us to the end now of the turn 2 for the Skaven. Let's go ahead to Wood Elves. Turn 2. Alright, Wood Elves, we've got a ton of charges to declare here. Let's go ahead and get it done. Let's start here with a charge here onto that unit, and they will hold. Let's throw another one over here. We'll have this unit charge them as well, and they will hold. Let's run over here to this area. Let's go ahead and have both of these charge into the Doom Wheel, and the Doom Wheel will hold. We'll put 1 arrow there. And let's see, and I think this is legal because we can do a swooping charge. I will charge over the Doom Wheel into the side here of these guys with our Great Eagles. So Great Eagle declaring a charge here. They're in combat, so they will hold. And finally, let's go over here to this slave bunch here, and let's have our Forest Dragon declare a charge into those slaves. They need to take a terror test. All right, terror test using the leadership of their general here. On a 10, no problem, so they will stick around. Let's go ahead and roll these off. Alright, first of all, this one, we've got no way of failing that, so let's just go ahead and move him into base contact. That's going to be a little difficult. There we go. Perfect, so there we go, that's a massive combat there. Let's go ahead and roll these 2 off. 12 inch charge for each of these. Let's do this first one here. We got that one, and the second one with a 6, and oh, let's check. And no, we're actually going to be 1 inch short there, so we're going to have to move them up 5 inches after we make our successful charge here. So let's slide these guys in. Close the door. And these guys will move ahead. They're 5 inches. So there you go, we've got those Dryads in. A little bit sad though with those other tree can, they didn't make it in, so they'll have to stay where they are right now. Let's run over here to these guys, and nothing here is going to be able to fail, so let's just go ahead and move everything into place. Alright, and here's how it's going to look now. It's hard to get all those guys into base to base because of all the parts sticking out. But we have our Dryads right here that are on that flank, and these guys in the front, they're all in there. And this guy just clipped the edge there. So there we go, that's our massive combat. Let's go ahead now and move to Winds of Magic. 2d6. And look at that, a nice 11, and no channel there, any channel here. Let's cock, let's do that again. No channel there, so we are looking at an 11 to a 6. Alright, the first thing we're going to do with our mage here is we are going to go ahead and cast Throne of Vines. Now that's the Dwellers Below. Here we go, the Throne of Vines, and that is an 8+. So let's go ahead and throw 3 dice at it just to be sure. Oh, miscast. 2+, we ignore the miscast. Okay, good. So no miscast there. Throne of Vines goes off. And Lore of Life, that means within 12 inches we get to give a wound back. Let's measure it out and see if we're within 12. Alright, the distance here between these two is just over 12, so our treeman doesn't get a wound back. But we got Throne of Vines off anyway. Alright, next thing, let's cast Shield of Thorns from our mage over here onto this unit right here in combat there. And it's an augment spell that will do some damage on that unit. Let's throw 2 dice at it. It's a 9+, so we need to show a 5. No problem with a 7. Skaven will let that go because they know it's coming. And finally, we gotta do it. Let's do the Dwellers Below from our mage here onto this unit. Let's check line of sight. Yeah, and clearly a nice line of sight there right through those trees. So we can go ahead and cast Dwellers Below. Let's throw 6 dice at it and see if we can get some massive damage here. And we got it, it looks like. Yeah, indeed, with a 27. So Skaven are going to throw 6 dice at it in response. They need to beat a 27. They have to show a 23 on these dice. And they show a 26 for a total of 30. So they were able to dispel Dwellers Below. And that brings us to the end of our casting. But let's go over here and figure out the Shield of Thorns, the damage taken at the end of the magic. Alright, here we go. 2d6, strength 6 hits. That's a measly 4. Strength 3 hits. So here we go. We're going to be wounding on 4s. And there are 2 wounds. 6+ save. No. So we'll go ahead and take 2 guys off the back here. Alright, shooting phase. We have got our scouts over here that are able to shoot. Guys up in the tower are able to shoot. We've got our Glade Guard right here. Let's start with these guys, and we will take some shots off onto that unit right First off, let's take our Glade Lord with a ballistic skill of 7, but he got a 1, so that doesn't matter, he misses. All the rest now, 12 shots, and we're going to be hitting on 3s. And wounding now on 4s. There we go. Alright, there's 7 wounds, and we've got a armor that goes to a 6+ because of the armor piercing. So we've actually made 2 saves there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to be killed. Not enough for a panic test, but let's go ahead and have a Glade Guard in the tower. Let's have them fire down here at that same unit as well. We've got 9 guys taking shots. Hitting on 3s and wounding now on 4s. And there are 2 with 6+ saves. No, so 2 more guys are going to be taken off the rear. Well, that's the thing about Skaven, still not enough for a panic test. There's just so many of them. So that's the end of that shooting. Let's run over here and we will have our scouts here take their shots onto that cannon. 7 shots, hitting on 3s. Excellent shooting now. We've got 6s to be able to wound, and we need just 2 wounds here. Nothing! Oh, not a single one. So that was a waste of shooting there. And with that, we come to the end of the shooting phase. And that brings us now to the combat phase. And we have got a lot of combats here. Oh, we might as well start closest here with this combat between the Doom Wheel and the Tree Can and the Dryads. Let's start out right there. Starting out now, the highest initiative goes to the Dryads. 15 attacks, and we're going to be hitting on 3s. But we have Hatred, so we're going to be re-rolling all of our misses here. on 3s. So not too bad. And here we go now, wounding on 6s because of a super strong. Oh no, only a single one. And no armor in the crew, so that brings us down to 2 wounds. If I can find it. There it is. Doom Wheel coming back. Let's put it on the Dryads. 2d6 random attacks for a total of 6. On 6s. And there's also a single wound. Alright, let's run now over to the Treekin. We've got 3 Treekin attack. Here we go now. We got 9 attacks hitting on 3s and 6s. Come on, we need some 6s here. And, only 1 more, so this guy's down to a single wound. Combat resolution, we obviously won with the Wood Elves, but this guy is immune to psychology, but we still need to take an out of control test. Let's do it now so we don't forget at the end of the combat phase, since we have so much to do. No, he's fine. He'll stick around. Next thing, let's just move right over here and do this combat with the Grey Eagle and with the Rat Ogres. Alright, in initiative order, we have a tie for the Grey Eagle and the Rat Ogres with 4s, and then we have our tree mass. So we'll start with the Rat Ogres here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys, and they will be attacking here. And we're going to have them go ahead and put on all of their attacks onto the tree man. So let's start out with 4s, and we are going to need 5s, so nothing there. And then for the rest of the attacks, 4s and 5s. So 2 attacks that go through. Tree man here, 5 up, 6 up. We got them both. Eagle now, 3s and 4s. There we go, and 4s to wound. Boom, we got 1 wound. That is enough now to have this guy be removed. So we'll take him out there and try to get our eagle back in as best as we can. Right, like that. Tree man now, 5 attacks, 3s and 3s. So here we go. Only 1, so drop one of those guys down now to a 1 wound there. Excuse me, well, I'll drop him down to 2 wounds right there. And once again, because these are all monstrous, I'm not going to actually have the stomps play out between the 2 of these. If I understand the rules right, you can only do it against normal infantry or war beasts or things like that. So the Thunderstomp and the Stomps won't have any effect here. Let's go ahead and figure out combat resolution. Alright, for the Wood Elves, we caused 2 wounds, and we had a charge, and we had a charge on the flank. And let's see here, they came back and did no wounds. So we win by 4. They are frenzy, which means they're immune to psychology, which means they don't need to take a fleet test now, but they lose their frenzy for next round. Alright, let's move over from that combat over here to this big combat right here with that big block of Skaven and those Dryads. Alright, Dryads higher initiative. We got 15 attacks now. We're going to be hitting on 3s. Hatred now, re-rolling our misses in the first round of combat. And wow, look at that, 14 hits. Wounding on 4s. Alright, shield and light armor for a 5+ save. And looks like we got 3 of them there. So a total of 7 guys. Rat Ogre coming back with 3 attacks on 4s and then 3s. 6+ ward, got it. And now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Clanrats. Excuse me, 12 Clanrats because they have spears. So here we go, Clanrats. They're coming back and hitting on 4s. And wounding on 5s because of the toughness of the Dryads. And there is a single wound, our 6+ ward. Get it again. Alright, combat resolution now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds from the Dryads. They have a charge and they have a rank. And we have 2 ranks for the Skaven, which means they lose combat by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, But they 7. Are still stubborn because of they immune to psychology, because of this big massive bell, so they're going to stay where they are. That's how that combat will end. And for our last combat, let's run all the way over here to our Forest Dragon and our Slaves. Alright, Slaves with the higher initiative, so we've got 8 attacks here on this guy, and we're going to be hitting on 5s. And, ooh, not bad, eh? Way to go, Slaves. And we're going to be wounding on 6s, because that's super tough dragon. Nothing there. 5 attacks back now, we're 3s, and we need 2s. So, 2s, here we go. Whoa, actually not that great. So only 2 of these Slaves are going to get knocked off. And then we have Thunderstomp, D6, 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more attacks on 2s. And so combat resolution now. We've got a charge for the dragon, and we've got 2, 4, 6 wounds. They, however, have 1, 2, 3 rank bonus, so they're going to lose combat by 4. That banner doesn't actually count for them, so they lose combat by 4. All right, and he's down to a 9 here because he's lost so many of his ranks here. So that means we are down to a 5 for our leadership test. No, it's a 9, so they are going to flee. How far are they going to go? They're going to go 5 inches, and we will chase him down with our dragon. Dragon is going to go, oh man, look at that, 12 inches. And so our massive pursuit of 12 inches will bring our dragon right here. And he will go ahead and reform at the end of that movement, facing down this guy right here. So there we go, the end of the combat phase, and the Wood Elves seem to be making something of a rally here. It wasn't going so well for them before, but now they're coming back. That brings us to the end of their turn. Let's go ahead and head into Skaven turn 3. Alright, Skaven, we've got charges to declare. Let's go ahead and declare a charge with these guys onto that tower, and they will do a stand and shoot. Alright, here we go. We got 9 shots, and we're going to be hitting on 4s because of the charge, the stand and shoot. Alright, not great. Now let's go ahead and see if we can allocate those 5, 6 there on the Packmaster. So no, they're all on the giant rats, and we'll be wounding on 4s. So there we go, 3 wounds here. Alright, next charge, let's go right over here, and let's have these guys right here declare a charge onto that unit right there. And they will also do a stand and shoot. So the Lord is going to be hitting now on a 2. Yes, and then we've got 12 shots hitting on 4s. Alright, 8 shots wounding on 4s. And not too bad. 2, 4, 6, and we get an armor save. Shield and light armor, but these are armor piercing, so we got 6 saves. Only 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those guys are going to be killed off the back. And 1 more. Okay, let's go ahead and roll them off. This one we don't need to roll. That's automatically going to be in. But this other one right here, let's go ahead and see what we roll for them. No, so that is going to be a failed charge. They're going to have to move ahead only 2 inches and not be able to get into combat there. So there we go. That is the end of the charging. Let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. And as I look around here, I see that everything seems to be in combat, so we don't have any remaining moves. Let's go on to the magic phase. Roll us off 2d6. Not a great roll. Do we have a channel there? No. And a channel there? No. So we are talking a 6 to a 3. Alright, Grey Seer, it's time for you to use some of your Warpstone tokens. We are going to eat 2 of these, dropping us down to 1. And we need to roll here to see if we take any wounds. No, we don't take any wounds on 1, so we get 2 more dice added over here to our power pool. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is take 2 of our dice, and we're going to ring that bell and see what we get here. A 10. And a 10 will be the Scorch. Okay, so we're going to place the small round template anywhere within 24 inches. And we'll put it right here over these guys, which means all 3 of them are going to be hit with the flaming attack. Alright, here we go. Let's go wounding now on a 5+. No, no, and no. So they escape that. Alright, we've got 6 dice left, so let's go ahead and do Curse of the Horned Rat. Let's go from our Grey Seer here, and we do have line of sight onto this unit way over here, and we're going to try and turn all those guys into Clanrats. Let's go ahead and throw 6 dice at it. It's a 25+, so let's just see if we can do it. Here we go. And that's a 13. So we didn't get it. That's the end of our magic phase. Pretty pathetic. We had a good chance there to kick some butt here, but that didn't work out. Let's go ahead and move on to the shooting phase. And of course, before we go on, we do need to make sure we do Shield of Thorns, which happens at the end of the magic phase. So we've got 2d6 hits onto those Clanrats for a total of 7. Here we go, wounding on 4s. And that looks like 3 total. And it is strength 3, so we have a 5+ save for our shield armor, so 2 more guys are going to go down. Let's get them right there. And let's try not to knock over our nice little dragon there. Okay, now we can go on to the shooting phase. And to start us off, let's go ahead here and twist this guy around, and we will go ahead and fire the template from his nozzle right through these tree kin. Let's see how far the flame goes. So, artillery die, 10 inches. Oh my goodness, that actually might overshoot them completely. Yes, and as you can see, that was quite possibly the worst roll we could have had because they shoot entirely over that unit. What a worthless team. Terrible aim, they are so close, but yet they miss so horribly. Alright, let's go run over here and we will go ahead and take a shot with our cannon. Alright, with our cannon now we're going to go 10 inches from the back of that base right up to about here. So let's go ahead and see how much we overshoot. Misfire. Alright, here we go. 3, and that will be an energy overload. Okay, this is where the cannon goes all nutso and flies around in a direction and shoots 46 inches with the large template, and it is going to go that direction, which will send it, in fact, off the table, so nothing is going to happen there. So, a pretty worthless shooting phase for the Skaven. Let's go ahead and see if we can do any bit better in the combat, and let's start here with this combat on the tower. Once again here, we'll just bring our 9 Glade Guard here, put them right next to here so we have a picture of what we're actually fighting for. So, 10 guys from the Skaven go in, and we have 9 Glade Guard. Alright, starting with Glade Guard, we're going to be hitting on 3s with always strikes first, re-rolls. Good, we could do that. That was a terrible roll. Whoa, not great. And hitting, wounding on 4s for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming back now, we've got 6 guys that went in on 4s and 4s. So there's 1 guy there. So just as in last time, these guys are going to lose combat. And that means they will pull back like this, and these guys will remain up in the tower in their cover. Alright, next combat, let's run over here and do this Doom Wheel combat. Here we go, Dryads. We've got 3s and 6s now. Here we go. Come on, we got to get at least 1 6. And there we got 2. And it's going to be enough now to get rid of that final wound. So that is going to go out here destroyed. With wiping out that guy, let's go ahead and reform all of these dudes now and face down that combat. So there they are, nicely reformed. Let's go ahead and take this combat now. So just to refresh you now, we have the tree man right here, and he is taking on these Rat Ogres with the Great Eagle in the flank there. Rat Ogres starting us off here, hitting on 4s. Excellent roll now, and they'll be wounding on 4s. Saves on a 5+, and nothing, and 6+ ward. Come on, Treeman. No, so that's not going to be enough to save him. He will get killed. Great Eagle now on 3s and 4s. So there's 1 wound. Dropping this guy down to a single wound here. Combat resolution now. We did 3 kills, the Ogres, and we did 1 back. So they're going to lose by 2. Eagle leadership down to 6. No, not with a 10. Swift striding out of there for a total of 8 inches. Attackmasters try to restrain with a 4, they do, so they're going to reform and face down these guys. So here we go, let's move this eagle over here, a total of 8 inches. And then let's go ahead and reform those guys right there. And there's how that will look when they are reformed and ready to face down their next enemy. And with that, let's bring us over here to the last combat we have for this round, right here. Dryads versus the Skaven. 14 attacks from the Dryads, hitting on 3s. And wounding now on 4s. 5 up save for the Skaven. And whoa, not too bad. They made a whopping 4 saves there. So 3 of these guys will be killed off the back like so. Coming back with the Rat Ogre on 4s. And there was only 1 and a 3. So there's 1 wound. 6+ ward. He gets it! I realize now I've been forgetting the Grey Seer as well, and he's initiative 5, so he should have started, but he's going to be hitting not on 1s. Clanrats now, here we go, hitting on 4s. And looking for 5s. There's 2 of them. 6 up ward, no. So 2 guys come off the back. Combat resolution now, let's see, we did 3 wounds on the Skaven. And they did 2 wounds on the Wood Elves. The Skaven, however, have a rank. Do they have any banners? Yes, they do have a banner, so that means the Skaven win this combat by 1. Leadership down to a 7 for the Dryads. Double 1s, they're sticking around. And with that, we come to the end of the Skaven combat phase and the end of Skaven turn 3. let's go ahead now and move on to Wood Elf turn 3. Charges to declare. Let's go ahead and declare a charge here with these guys onto them, and they will hold, and we will have our dragon as well declare a charge onto them, and they will also hold. In addition, let's run over here to this combat right over here, and we will have them declare a charge, and they will hold. They will declare a charge, and they will hold. So let's put our arrow here, and let's also go over here to our scouts, and we will have our scouts here declare a charge onto that war machine. The war machine has to hold. Alright, let's go ahead and roll these out. Starting here, 3. No, that's not going to be enough, I don't think. No, that's not enough, so we're going to have to slide ahead here 2 inches. We'll just pretend that this is up against that stone there. That's a failed charge there, 2 inches. And right here, let's go ahead and roll these out, no problem. This one right here, no problem. And here's how this one is going to look now when everything is said and done. And finally, let's run over here for these guys. I don't think we can possibly fail. No, and for our dragon, Swift Stride, let's just roll 2. That's fine as well. And there's how that one will look now with everybody in combat. Compulsory moves, let's see if we can rally this guy right here. And he does no problem. Let's turn him around, and we will face him off in that direction right there. Alright, and that's it for the movement phase. No remaining moves, so let's go ahead and move to the magic phase. Winds of Magic. And that's a poor roll. We did at least get a channel here, and no channel there. So we are talking about a 5 to a 3. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Let's throw 5 dice at the dwellers below, and we're going to go from our mage over here, and we will cast it onto this unit right here. So let's go ahead and throw our 5 dice at it. We need an 18 plus, and looks like we got it. That's a total of 20. Can we dispel it with 3 dice when double 6s? No, so that is going to go off. And let's start here with our chieftain, this guy right here, and we need to roll. If he gets a 5 or a 6, he is slain. Oh, and look at that, he goes down, so this guy is going to be removed. There we go, we lose our BSB. And now for the rest of the Clanrats, I'm going to be resorting now to the white dice because I need 38 of these. 38 tests. If we roll a 4, 5, or 6, they are slain. And there you go, a whopping 21 are going to be killed. Alright, 21 off the back. That's all of those guys right here. That's going to lead to a panic test. We lost our BSB. We're still in range of our general, but the general's leadership is now down to 8. So here we go, panic test on an 8. No, they didn't get it. They're going to turn around and run. And running now a total of 7 inches. And there we go. There's their final position, running 7 inches away from that mage there. All right, onto the shooting phase. Let's go ahead and take 9 shots from here down onto those guys. Hitting on 3s, and we're allocating now. 5, 6 were on the handler. No, so all on the rats, and we will be wounding now on 4. So a total of 3 giant rats. And let's run over here and take some shots with these guys onto that fleeing unit right there. For our lord now on a 2, yeah. And for the rest now hitting on 4s. And then we will go ahead and be wounding on 4s. Oh, there we go. 3 more are going to be taken off the back. Let's go 1, 2, and 3. Alright, there's the end of the shooting phase, and that leaves us now to the combat phase. We've got 2 major combats, this one here and this one here. Let's begin with the Rat Ogre combat. Highest initiative now to the Dryads, so they will start off, and we have 1, 2, 3, 6 attacks here. And of course we have hatred, so we're going to go ahead and roll those, hitting on 3s. So there are 2 more. And wounding now on 5s. So there's 2 wounds. That'll be enough now to take away this guy and to drop him down to 2 wounds. Coming back now, it's the Rat Ogres. Let's have these 1, 2, 3 guys direct their attacks into the Dryads. 9 attacks on 4s. And that was decent enough. And going here now to wound on 3s. So there is 3 wounds. And finally this guy here onto the Treekin. We're looking for 4s and 4s. So 2 wounds. Scaly Skin, 6s, no, and awards on 6s, so we have 1 save. That takes 1 wound. And that reminds me now that I forgot actually to take our ward saves here on these 3 Dryads. So let's go ahead and roll out 3, we need 6s there. We did get 1, so we'll put 1 guy back. And finally now, coming back with our Treekin here onto the Rat Ogres, we've got 9 attacks, and we're hitting on 3s. And wounding on 4s. So there we have a total of 2 wounds. Enough to kill a whole nother guy here. There we go. Combat resolution now for the Wood Elves. We did 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, wounds, and we charged into battle. In contrast, they did 2 wounds, so that makes the Rat Ogres lose by 3. Alright, the Rat Ogres are down to double ones to stay. Here we go. Can they stick around? No, they are not. They're going to go ahead and flee. How far? 12 inches. Let's have both pursue, starting with the Treekin. Oh, look at that. They got 12. Yes, the Treekin are going to catch them, chase them down, and they're going to be taken out. Unbelievable. Let's move that out. All right, and here's how things look after that. The Treekin moved ahead. Here they're 12 inches. These guys, they're 6 inches, taking out that unit of Rat Ogres. Really successful combat there. Let's move over here to our last combat. This big blob of characters here. Okay, Grey Seer on the Dryad, 4s and 5s. No, nothing. Dryads here in the front row coming back. We're going to be hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. So 2 more rats taken out here. Rat Ogre now on the Dryads, 4s and 3s. Not bad. Wow, look at that. 3 of them dead. Clanrats, 6 attacks on the Dryads, on 4s and 5s. So 1 more. And I can't forget about the 6+ ward. No, and we had the 6+ ward on the other 3. Yes, we in fact got 1. So that means 1 would be killed, but we'd be putting 1 back, so we'll leave it as it is. And then over here we have 6 Clanrats onto the Treekin. We need 4s and 6s. So 6s, that's cocked. No. And Treekin now onto the Clanrats. We got 9 attacks, 3s and 3s. So that'll be 5 more dead. And finally now let's have the Dragon go on to the Grey Seer. 5 attacks. We're hitting on 3s and wounding on 2s. So there are 2 wounds to the Grey Seer, dropping him down to 1 wound. And with that we come to the end of the combat phase and the end of Wood Elf turn number 3. At this point, I think it is safe now to call the game in favor of the Wood Elves. Remember that they have 9 Glade Guard inside the tower, so they are in possession of the tower, which means they would have to get chased out. It doesn't look like these guys are going to be able to pull that off. This unit is fleeing and they will be chased down, I'm sure, by some of these guys. We have a general here with only 1 wound left, very few Clanrats, and these units are bearing down on them, not to mention a massive forest dragon. Over here we have an eagle that is ready to do some damage, of course, onto this guy right here, and we also have the scouts ready to attack that. So it doesn't look like there's much of a possibility of the Skaven actually pulling this off. So we're going to go ahead and call the game for the Wood Elves. Congratulations, Wood Elves, on a well-played game. It was really exciting. It went back and forth. At one point I thought for sure the Skaven would have it, but the Wood Elves were able to pull it off in the end.
Well, there you have it, folks. 2,000 points of the Skaven versus 2,000 points of the Wood Elves in our Watchtower scenario. Now, this has been a really fun battle. It's been a really cool board. It's been really exciting to try out our new terrain and to see how all of that works out as we move our armies around on the table. Well, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for this episode of Wars of the Old World. We are very happy that you're joining us to watch this, but we would also like to invite you, if you are interested in coming to Lund, Sweden, to our gaming store Playoteket, and to throw down some dice with Grey Army Gaming, either in Warhammer Fantasy Battles or Mordheim, then feel free to contact me. You can go to our website, greyarmygaming.com, and you can send a note there, or you can go ahead and email us at greyarmygaming@gmail.com. We would love to have you come into Lund and to take us on in a battle. Well, thank you for joining us here on this cold and dark fall afternoon here in Lund, Sweden. This has been Matthew from Grey Army Gaming for the future of fantasy.